Episode 6.
And it came to pass that the waystation upon Lahmu was established, and the work of salvation proceeded as Anu had decreed. The gold of the Abzu, drawn forth from the depths of the earth by the toil of the Anunnaki, was gathered and made ready for its journey to the stars, and from the lands of Eridu the treasure was lifted upon sky chariots and carried across the heavens to Lahmu, the red world. Upon Lahmu the 300 Igigi, the watchers, received the gold, and with mighty hands they labored, preparing the great vessels for their ascent unto Nibiru. Under the command of Anzu, the valiant, who had been given dominion over the waystation, the task was fulfilled with great precision, that no delay would hinder the salvation of their home. The vessels, greater than any before, rose from the barren lands of Lahmu, bearing the gold unto Nibiru, that the breach in the firmament might be healed. And upon Nibiru there was rejoicing, for with each arrival of the golden cargo, the skies of their world grew stronger, and the doom that had loomed over them was lessened. The people of Nibiru lifted their voices in praise, saying, "Great are the works of the Anunnaki upon the earth. Blessed are the Igigi who labor upon Lahmu. By their hands our salvation is secured." Yet upon Lahmu, though the work was steady and the plan was fulfilled, the Igigi murmured among themselves, for their days were long and the land was desolate. And though Anzu, their commander, was steadfast in his duty, he too pondered the fate of those who labored upon Lahmu, far from the joys of the world below. But the decree of Anu had been given, and the work could not cease, for the golden path between Eridu and Nibiru had been forged, and the fate of all depended upon it. The earth, which had once lain in the cold embrace of the ice, began to stir with heat, and the winds that once whispered with frost now roared with the breath of fire. And the Anunnaki, weary of their burdens, cried aloud, saying, "This place is as the depths of torment. The air burns our flesh, and the stones beneath us scorch our hands." So did they name it Hot as Hell, for there was no peace in their labor, only suffering without end. And upon Lahmu the Igigi beheld the earth below, where the Anunnaki toiled, yet also dwelled in cities, in gardens, with the waters and fruits of the land, and envy grew in their hearts. And they murmured among themselves, saying, "Why do we labor in the desolation of this world, while our brothers upon Eridu dwell in abundance? Are we not also of the mighty ones? Are we not also sons of Nibiru? Why should our toil be unceasing while they rest beneath the shade of the trees and drink from the rivers of life?" And their voices rose in anger, and they cast their blame upon Enlil, the Lord of Command, saying, "It is he who has decreed our suffering. It is he who cares not for our pain. He who rules with a heavy hand, who speaks of law and order, yet does not see the burdens upon our backs." And the Igigi, once loyal and steadfast, now harbored thoughts of rebellion, for their patience was spent, and their hearts were filled with bitterness. And the Anunnaki and the Abzu, hearing the cries of their brethren upon Lahmu, also raised their voices, saying, "We are not slaves, we are not beasts of burden, let our suffering be seen." And so across the heavens and the earth the seeds of strife were sown, for the mighty ones who once labored in unity now stood divided, their hearts set against one another. And it came to pass that the cries of the Igigi, the watchers of Lahmu, grew loud, and their unrest was made known unto the Anunnaki assembly. And the mighty ones, seeing the laborers grow weary and filled with bitterness, sought a way to bring peace, lest discord rise among the ranks of the great work. Enlil, the Lord of the Command, lifted his voice and decreed, saying, "Let Anzu, their prince and commander, come unto the earth, that his words may be heard, and his grievances laid bare before us. And messengers were sent unto Lahmu, calling forth Anzu the valiant one, a prince of royal seed, whose blood bore the mark of kingship. Anzu, hearing the summons, quickly descended from the heavens, departing the desolate land of Lahmu, and he came unto the earth, where he was received with honour. And before the great council he stood, and he spoke, saying, The burdens of Lahmu are great, the toil is unceasing, and the watchers grow weary of their fate. Long have we laboured in solitude, in a land where the wind carries no song, and the sky offers no comfort. Our brothers upon Eridu dwell in cities, in gardens, among the rivers, and the beasts of the land. Shall we be left to toil in dust and stone, while they reap the sweetness of the earth? Shall the Igigi be forever chained to the red world, without respite or relief? And Enlil, hearing these words, was moved, for though he ruled with strength, he was bound by justice, and he sought to quell the unrest before it turned to rebellion. He spoke unto Anzu, saying, Let there be relief for the watchers. Let them not be forgotten, for their hands have carried the gold of salvation unto Nibiru. I shall decree a place upon the earth, where the Igigi may find rest and renewal, where they may dwell for a time, apart from the labours of Lahmu. Anzu bowed before Enlil, saying, If this word is true, then peace shall be restored among the watchers, and the bond between the heavens and the earth shall not be broken. And Enlil, to show favour and honour unto Anzu, invited him unto Nibruki, the bond between heaven and earth, the sacred abode of command, where the decrees of the mighty ones were made known. The council watched, for in the days to come the fate of the Igigi and the Anunnaki would be bound together, and the struggle for dominion among them would shape the destiny of the world. And it came to pass, while Anzu, the prince of the watchers, dwelled in Nibruki, the bond between heaven and earth, that his heart was stirred with ambition, for he beheld the might of Enlil, the power he wielded over the heavens and the earth. And he saw that at the centre of his dominion lay the tablets of destinies, and these tablets, sacred and guarded, held the knowledge of the stars and the ways of the skies. They governed the paths of the chariots, the orbits of the vessels, and the decrees of the gods. With them, the command of the earth and Lahmu was made firm, and none could stand against their power, for they bore the secrets of the heavens. And Anzu, filled with pride and longing, spoke within himself, saying, Why should Enlil alone rule? Why should the Igigi remain as servants, while others sit in thrones of command? If I possess the tablets of destinies, the ways of the heavens shall be mine to command. I shall be invincible. I shall decree the fate of earth and Lahmu. And in the darkness of his thoughts he devised a plan, and while Enlil was at rest, he crept into the holy sanctuary, the most guarded place of Nibruki. From its sacred chamber he seized the tablets of destinies, hiding them within his garments, and with swift steps he fled unto his sky chamber. Before any could sound the alarm, he lifted himself into the heavens, soaring upon the winds, vanishing from the place of command. And he fled unto the landing place, in the high mountains where the Igigi, his brethren, awaited him. And there he revealed his triumph, lifting the tablets before them. And he cried aloud, saying, Behold, the power of the heavens is in my hands. No longer shall we be servants. No longer shall we toil without dominion. With these tablets I am now master of the fates. I shall rule over earth and Lahmu, and none shall stand against me. But when word of this treachery reached Enlil, great was his fury, and his voice thundered through the halls of Nibruki, shaking the very foundations of the earth. And he cried out, saying, A great evil has been done. Without the tablets of destinies, the ways of the chariots are lost. The mission shall fail, and Nibiru shall fall into ruin. And the Anunnaki and the Igigi alike trembled, for they knew the weight of these words, and they beheld the coming storm, for the heavens had been thrown into disorder. Thus the great betrayal was set forth, and the struggle for the dominion of the heavens and the earth began as the mighty ones prepared for war, and the fate of the worlds hung in the balance. Enlil, the lord of the command, sought a champion to restore what was lost. Ninurta, the warrior son of Enlil, mighty in strength and valor, stepped forth and bowed before his father, saying, "Let me go forth to battle. Let me reclaim the tablets, so that order may be restored." And he took his sky chariot and ascended into the heavens, pursuing Anzu, who sat enthroned in his stolen dominion, wielding the power of the sacred tablets. But lo, Anzu, having taken the divine knowledge, was made invincible, his sky-bird shielded by the might of the destinies he had stolen, and no weapon could pierce his defenses. And Ninurta, though fierce in battle, could not strike him down, for the winds obeyed Anzu, and the heavens trembled at his command. Then Enki, wise in counsel and cunning in design, summoned Ninurta unto him, and he spake, saying, "There is a way to defeat him, but you must strike at the moment when his strength is undone. Anzu's power lies in the tablets, but his flight is bound to his sky-bird, and his sky-bird is not beyond weakness. Use the storm against him, and his wings shall falter." Enlil, hearing this, fashioned a mighty weapon, a Tilu missile, a spear of fire and destruction, which he placed into the hands of his son, saying, "Go forth, my son. Deliver justice to the traitor, and bring back what is ours." Ninurta, taking the weapon, ascended into the skies in his whirlwind chariot, swift as the storm, and the battle began. And he loosed the winds of fury, stirring the dust of the earth, raising a tempest that covered the heavens in shadow, hiding his movements from Anzu, and the dust grew thick as a veil, and Anzu, though mighty, was blinded, and his sky-bird faltered in its course, and the pinions of his craft were exposed. In that moment, when Anzu's wings lay bare, Ninurta, seeing his chance, loosed the Tilu missile, the weapon his father had forged, and fire and thunder shook the sky. The missile struck Anzu's chariot with fury, a great explosion was seen in the heavens, and the craft of the traitor fell like a star from the sky, and the earth trembled as it struck the ground, and great was the ruin of his fall, and the power of Anzu was broken. Ninurta descended, seizing Anzu in chains, taking from his grasp the tablets of destinies, that they might be restored unto Enlil's sanctuary. And with triumph he returned to Nibruki, where he laid the tablets before his father, and the great order of the heavens was made whole once more. And Enlil lifted his voice, saying, "By the hand of my son, the order of the gods is restored. Let all know that none may steal the fates of the heavens and stand against the righteous." And thus the rule of Enlil was made firm, the dominion of the Anunnaki was secured, and Anzu, the usurper, was bound, his name spoken in shame among the mighty ones. And it came to pass, when Ninurta, the mighty warrior, had vanquished Anzu, the traitor, and restored the tablets of destinies unto the sanctuary of Enlil, that he set forth unto the landing place. When Ninurta descended in his sky chariot, clothed in might and victory, the Igigi trembled, their hearts failing them, for they knew that the wrath of the gods was upon them. And they fell upon their faces before Ninurta, kissing his feet, saying, "Great is the warrior of Enlil, none can stand against him. We beseech thee, let mercy be upon us." And Ninurta, seeing their fear, lifted his voice and decreed, "Let those who have turned from their rebellion be spared, but let this be a sign unto all. None shall rise against the order of the heavens and go unpunished." And he commanded that Abgal, the noble Anunnaki, and those who had been seized by the Igigi be set free, for they had suffered in bondage under the traitors' hands. The captives, once bound, were loosed, and they bowed before Ninurta, saying, "By thy hand, O Prince of the heavens, we are delivered. Justice has been restored, and the righteous shall reign." With the mutiny subdued and the tablets of destinies returned, the great power that governed the stars was awakened once more. The Emes, the divine forces within the tablets, began to hum with brilliance, and the cities of the gods shone with light once again as the order of the heavens was restored, and the chariots of the gods once more took flight, rising from the lands of Eridu and Lamu, carrying forth the gold of salvation unto Nibiru. And upon Nibiru, when the vessels arrived, the people beheld the returning bounty, and they lifted their voices in praise, saying, "The breath of our world is restored. The salvation of Nibiru is fulfilled." And Enlil stood among the mighty ones and declared, "Let it be known that by the hand of Ninurta the dominion of the gods has been secured. Let all who dwell upon the earth and in the heavens remember this day." And so the rule of Enlil was made firm, the might of the Anunnaki was upheld, and the transportation of gold unto Nibiru was resumed, for the balance of the worlds had been restored. And it came to pass, after the tablets of destinies were restored, and the rebellion of the Igigi subdued, that the judgment of Anzu, the traitor, was set before the mighty ones. Enlil, lord of the command, stood before the assembly and decreed, "For his treachery against the order of the heavens, for his theft of the sacred decrees, let Anzu be judged by the law of the gods." The lords of the Anunnaki spoke in agreement, saying, "He who sought to usurp the dominion of the heavens shall face the fate of the condemned." And so was Anzu brought forth, bound before the council, and his misdeed was judged punishable by death. The mighty ones prepared a weapon of great power, a killing ray that none could withstand, for it was forged by the hands of those who governed the stars. And with a single strike the weapon was unleashed, and Anzu, who once soared the skies in defiance, was no more. His body was placed upon a chariot and taken unto Lamu, the Red Land, where it was laid to rest beside Alalu, for their blood was of the same seed, and in exile they both found their end. Upon this journey Marduk, the firstborn son of Enki, was sent forth that he might bear witness and take his place among the mighty ones. And when they reached Lamu, Marduk stood before the tombs of the fallen, and he beheld the destiny that lay before him. There, before the assembly of the Igigi, it was declared, "Let Marduk, son of Enki, take the mantle of command. Let him govern the watchers of Lamu, that the waystation may remain firm." Thus Marduk, heir of Enki, ascended to power upon Lamu, and the labor of the watchers resumed as the gold of salvation continued its journey from the earth unto the stars. And the heavens beheld the rise of Marduk, and his fate was set among the gods, for his name would be known in the days to come, as the stars moved according to the will of the mighty ones.
End of Episode 6. Episode 7 coming soon.